to episode 48 of I Hope You Suffer. My name is Nathan.
I'm Kit.
And for this shortish mini episode, we are talking with Jeremy Hunt.
Go Hello.
Ahead. Hey.
What's up?
Jeremy is in a band that I will let him say the name of because I have never said it out loud and don't know how to pronounce it.
Fair enough. QOHELETH.
So I always, in my head, it's QOHELETH.
Yeah, that's,
whatever. And yeah, they are releasing a soundtrack to a short film that is, the short film is already available to watch, right?
Yeah, that's already out.
And then the soundtrack will be out Monday?
Next Tuesday, September 3rd.
Yeah, it's up for pre-order on Bandcamp right now. I will put links to both in the actual post for this, and I'll tweet about it and all that nonsense whenever this goes up. Yeah, we're going to talk about that for a little bit. You want to go ahead and...
Excited.
I don't know who that was. It wasn't Paul.
Oh, not Paul?
No, it's one of my dogs. Sorry.
No, you're fine. Paul is usually doing the same thing. Do you want to go ahead and give a quick rundown of the movie and your band, all that stuff?
Yeah, sure. So we've been around. I was trying to remember we haven't been around for too long. We formed in 2016. It's me and one of my best buddies from back when I lived in Charlotte, Mike Strickler. He and I handle all the music side of things, and then my cousin Caden Withy is our third member, and he handles all of our visuals and artwork. So when we started out, knowing that we were going to be more kind of not conceptual band, but just we're scattered across the country right now, so we can't do shows. So I knew that we'd need to be as creative as possible, in other ways of presenting ourselves. So yeah, it's the three of us. We started writing and forming the idea of the band in, I think, 2016. Put out our first album the following spring in 2017, and basically we've just been trying to, like I said, take the limitation of not being able to play shows or tour right now, and we throw all our energies when we're working on stuff together into just writing stuff. So more of a noise rock punk vibe. Just our band mantra is written by accident and played by instinct. So that really informs just everything that we do, in terms of, if we come up with, dumbass ideas on the fly and we, record it to one of our phones, we'll share stuff back and forth. And, if we like it well enough, we'll be like, all right, cool, that's going to be a part. We're going to use that. And then we'll just build something around that. So we have a very, very much, I don't want to say straight up improvisational, but there's a lot of just going with our gut and our instincts when it comes to writing and how we approach what we do. So for this release specifically, one of my friends and coworkers out here in California is a aspiring filmmaker. He and his buddies from college. His name's Mike Fink. He and his buddies from Tennessee started a channel on YouTube. I don't know how many years ago. I guess back when they were in college, so probably at least 4 or 5 years ago, if not longer. And their YouTube channel is called Video Bakery, and they just do a lot of random video projects. A lot of creative humorous skits. But for this project, Black and White Electric Light, he wanted. I think this was something that was maybe a little bit more on the serious side of things, and he wanted to really stretch his abilities in terms of storytelling in a different sort of way. So it's basically just a short story about a woman who gets trapped in a TV loop. Essentially, she's just sort of stuck in that mundane cycle of just, coming home from work, sitting on the couch, vegging out, and then during one of those time periods, something happens on the TV that gets her attention, and she realizes that she might be more trapped in the TV than she realizes. So that's it.
Yeah, I feel like I can't think of another band that is more suited for the idea of like trapped in a loop of TV, because of just like I just picture like the static alone working very well, especially with like towards the end of the actual soundtrack release.
Yeah.
Like the last two songs specifically, I fucking really like.
Oh, thanks.
And has that kind of like, sort of like bad VHS, like broken VHS playing kind of feel to them.
Yeah, absolutely. Which is something that we love anyway. Like I know you and I have talked about it before, but like after we were done with our very first album and all the random ass videos that I put together for it, just finding archival and public domain footage and throwing stuff together, I put together like a little short film that, was meant to give that sense of. This was even before I met the director. So just in terms of our own vibe as a band, it was meant to kind of give this late night channel surfing, just what the hell am I watching kind of vibe. So that's very much what we like.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's a lot of bands that kind of record where they're all spread out across the country. So it's a little more common now, but I'm sure definitely more difficult than it is being in the same room. What is it like putting together a soundtrack that, like, not being in the same room? Is there a difference?
I honestly don't know, because this was our first shot at doing something like this. Like, I mean, we just sort of, so the way it kind of came about was, and I have to be clear because we got two mics in the picture. We got Mike, our Mike, the drummer and multi-instrumentalist. Mike plays a bunch of different stuff, and he mixes and produces everything that we do. And then Mike, the director. So Mike, the director, and I, he had heard, I think, I had shared some of the tracks off of the remix album that we put out at the very end of last year. And I think he really liked the vibe off of that. And so when he was coming up with this idea for the short film, basically, we were just chit-chatting, like we do every day, kind of, on breaks and over lunch in the office. And he was like, hey, I have this idea. Would you guys be interested in, I think some of your music might be a good fit. And I think at that point, he and I were thinking, oh, okay, maybe we can take something we'd already done and just make it work for the film. But then the more we started thinking about it and talking about it, I was like, no, because Mike, the drummer, and I love film scores and love soundtracks. And because of the open-ended nature and experimental nature of our band, we're pretty much wide open to trying anything, even though we sort of operate within the genres that we operate. That's what we love, but we're wide open. So yeah, at some point we just started talking about like, well, what if we just tried writing some original stuff, not pulling from anything we'd done before. So really, the writing process for us as a band approaching this was not. It wasn't, the process itself wasn't too different. I'd say the main thing that was a shift probably in two areas. One was I was able to be in the room with Mike, the director, as he was kind of fleshing out ideas. And, I saw like an early rough cut of what he was going for. So that gave me a starting point to just get out essentially into the garage and just try some things out. And then once I let him hear those initial ideas, I thought he maybe pick like a small section or like one of them. Like I think I presented him with like 3 different sort of theme ideas. And I went in again because this was our first time ever doing something like this. I was like, I was kind of prepped for like, oh, I like this idea. The rest of them suck, and keep writing. But pretty much he liked everything that we shared with him immediately. So then that's when um, I sent my initial ideas over to Mike, the drummer, and he started adding in some ideas as well. And so yeah, we just kind of wrote back and forth like that for a little bit. And I think the big thing that changed for us, not change, but the thing that we wanted to try to do a little bit differently on this versus our other previous stuff was um, to really go for minimalism in some ways. Um, most of the time when we write our sort of, quote unquote regular stuff, we're pushing every single thing into the red.
Yeah, I was gonna say like your regular albums are very much like a noise rock, where this is very
Yeah.
kind of
Very stripped down.
yeah, like ambient noise kind of.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I hesitate to say this because there's no way we're even remotely in the same ballpark. But like, as a film fan and a soundtrack fan, I adore John Carpenter, and I just love the DIY ethic that he brought to so much of what he created, and so you know obviously he went for synths because he could create a bigger sound just by himself out of that. But in some ways, I tried to approach, because most of what I wrote for this, other than the one track that's like on a little mini Casio keyboard, everything I wrote for this was primarily, I think it was all done on bass. There's no guitar on this whatsoever, and so it's all either straight up playing the bass and or getting like feedback and static and stuff, messing with the pedals from the bass signal. So, but I tried to as humbly as I could, channel some of that minimalism that you hear in some of the soundtracks, where it's creating that vibe, it's creating that atmosphere with a simpler sort of theme and repetition and building. So that was really what inspired me, and what was driving kind of the intent. Obviously he's in a class by himself, so.
Yeah, there's few people better to kind of quote unquote emulate than John Carpenter, what is going to come to a soundtrack.
Yeah. It's just, his stuff's legendary, and
Yeah.
so.
I feel like because you brought that up, we now have to talk about John Carpenter soundtracks, because that's usually what we talk about on Twitter.
Yep.
Like what would you say is the most underappreciated of his soundtracks?
Oh man. Oh, that's tough. I don't know, man. Maybe like Prince of Darkness.
Yeah, that's where I was heading.
Yeah.
Same.
Also
just underappreciated movie in general, but
yeah, I think that's, and I may be sort of blending the two together, but yeah, that's probably up there. Maybe I'm trying to remember. I should know it better, but I'm trying to remember like the soundtrack for In the Mouth of Madness, because
the theme song is that really sleazy, like Inner Sandman kind of knockoff.
oh yeah.
oh shit, I forgot that's very like Enter Sandman.
Yeah, probably Prince of Darkness would be my go-to on that.
Yeah, that's a good one. I feel like that. Like I feel like Christine doesn't really get talked about a
Oh,
whole
you're
lot
right.
either.
Yeah.
I just like I saw an interview with him recently, maybe with Robert Rodriguez for his TV network. I don't even know if it's still around, the El Rey or whatever. But I saw or heard an interview with Carpenter, and he was talking about just how he viewed music, at least in some form or fashion in his films, as being like the carpeting that goes into a room. And
Wow, interesting.
I think that's the comparison he used. I hope I'm remembering that correctly. But basically, he was like, it needs to be there, but it doesn't need to be. It doesn't need to basically oversell what's on the screen. Like you put it in there for atmosphere. You put it in there for almost sort of the subconscious layers that it brings to the film experience, but it's not meant to overwhelm what the viewer is seeing on the screen. Something along those lines. I was like, damn, that's just a great way. I just like the way he talks about the stuff.
Right. Like,
Oh.
it's also like real apparent when you all like you watch his movies and then you go to like something in the 90s where the entire soundtrack is like Drowning Pool.
Yeah.
Just fucking like real loud like new metal shit that
Yeah.
feels really out of place.
Yeah, he just, I mean, and again, it goes to that whole sort of like DIY kind of control of like he knew, and I mean, he had the talent to bring to bear on all the different areas. So that's where, everybody wins in that scenario because he knew the kind of films he was making, he knew what he wanted them to be, and he knew what he needed each piece to accomplish, whether it's from the filmmaking standpoint or the soundtrack or what have you. So I mean, it's just, yeah, he's a master of it.
So, what is coming up for QOHELETH next? What could we expect for you guys to score next?
Dude, I don't know. I mean, we had a lot of fun doing this. I mean, like I said, it was our first attempt out of the gate, and so we were just like, let's throw caution to the wind like we always do and see what happens. And so we're, I was just thankful that Mike, the director, he was really pleased with it. I think it ended up working well with the film itself. Obviously, that was our main goal. With the EP, that was the thing too. As we were writing, was like, if we're going to end up being able to put something out, we want it to be worthwhile time wise for people. So that's why, we wrote for the movie, but we also kind of approached things as like, hey, rather than writing in like 20-second chunks or 30-second chunks, let's approach sort of each motif or each theme as its own standalone thing. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, actually, I haven't shared this anywhere yet or posted this anywhere yet, but this is actually the first in a series of 3 EPs that we're going to be releasing over the course of basically the rest of the year. We should have the second 2 out. The next one will be out in October, and then I think the third one will be out in December, I think. So
Nice.
yeah.
Hell yeah.
I could picture your guys' sound working well with something like weird and fucked up along the lines of like Mandy.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be amazing. Have you guys seen? And you guys have seen a lot more of these weird ass movies than I have, probably. So,
Mansquito?
No, not. I saw that on the list. That and Tsunami, and I was like, man, I need to do something different with my life so I can watch these movies too.
No, you don't. You're doing it right. We are not.
No, but seriously, I love what you guys are doing. Like, I was listening to the Terror Vision episode actually earlier today. I was like, this is great because I too love Terror Vision.
Movie's so good.
Freaked. Have you guys seen the movie Freaked?
Yes.
Oh, like the Alex Winter movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that for me would be like the perfect sort of like avenue for like a QOHELETH. Either just a song and something like that, or a score or something, because I love that movie.
I feel like when that actually, because I think Alex Winter tweeted about it's coming out like a deluxe like Blu-ray reissue soon.
That would be amazing.
And whenever that happens, we should do that movie on here. Have you come back on?
Oh, I would love that.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
If not, you're coming on Ghost of Mars.
I would love that. Now, that's one of the ones I've seen it, but I don't. That's one of the Carpenter films I don't own because it's so freaking expensive. Like
I just have like a used copy on DVD I found for like $3 somewhere.
Oh, okay, that's what I should do. I mean, the way Scream Factory is going, I'm assuming they're going to get the rights to every single thing he's ever done eventually, but that one's not there yet.
I hope so. I went
Steps.
to. Oh, what was that, Kit?
I said baby steps.
Yeah.
I went to I came across it was Invisible Man, Memoirs of the Invisible Man or whatever it was he did.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, this is like almost $30, and there's like no bonus features. Like, how is there not a commentary on this? And I was like, I'm not buying this.
Yeah.
There's not a audio commentary of John Carpenter just bitching about things. I don't want it.
That's the other aspect of him that's so wonderful. Is just the old man Carpenter get off my lawn vibe is just great.
It rules because he's always just like, I don't like. Everyone's like, when are you gonna make another movie? He's like, I don't care. I'm just watching basketball and playing video games. Leave me alone.
Well, and the whole resurgence of his music career. I'm like, dude gets to do whatever he wants. He gets to write what he wants, and probably, I'm assuming, with minimal interference from anybody, especially from the music side of things.
Yeah, I guarantee you they just told him to do whatever with the Halloween
Yeah,
movies coming up.
yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, do you want to go ahead and tell everybody where they can follow you and the band and kind of all that stuff?
Yeah, sure. So the band, all the different social accounts for the band are all QOHELETH Noise. Our little record label that we started last year, I co-founded it with Eric Heider. That's Philip K. Discs, and just because he's amazing at puns.
That's such a good name.
we're both Philip K. Dick fans as well, so that's our little record label, and we're putting out the EP out next week, and yeah, I mean, if anybody wants to follow me personally for random dumb musings about either being a parent or whatever noise rock band I'm into currently, you can find me on Twitter at Jehu the Hunt. So
just tweet at him about Under Oath.
Dude, I don't. Oh, yeah.
We'd be here for a while if we started talking about Under Oath and the Chariot shit. So.
Oh, the Chariot. Yeah, 68's got a new album coming out sometime soon.
Stop it! I gotta go eat.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll. I think I might drop this tomorrow or Friday.
Okay. Yeah.
Whatever. It'll be one of those 2 days, and I'll tweet all that kind of stuff and like on Instagram or whatever. So.
Thank you. I really appreciate you guys making the time for this. This was when I shot you the message the other day. This was so much more than I was expecting. So thank you.
Yeah, I mean, you've been on the list for whenever we got to. Like for me, I was like Ghost of Mars. Like whatever we get to that.
Yeah, man.
I feel like we'd have a good conversation just about Carpenter in general.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But then it's just like anytime I'm like, well, let's do like something like this. Kid's like, I found this fucking Velocipaster movie. Let's watch this. And I'm like, God damn it, all right.
Have you guys done that already?
No, we're probably. I think it just hit streaming stuff, so I think we're gonna do it towards the end of this month.
I saw that. I saw the trailer for that, and I was like, I don't understand, but I must see this immediately.
Yeah, my goal is we have the next 2 weeks planned, but I really want to do that and then the Banana Splits movie.
Oh, I want to see that too.
They are both on Prime right now to rent, so.
Nice. Yeah, especially the Velocipaster, since, I mean, I don't gravitate towards all religious theme stuff, but every now and then, because I'm in seminary, I'll see something like that, and I'm like, I need to somehow bring this into my studies.
It looks
I need to somehow put this in to my PhD program to justify that this, freaking movie exists.
I've avoided watching the trailer or anything for that because I just want to go in like as clean as possible. All I've seen is the poster, and I'm like, done, sold.
Yeah, I mean, kudos to whoever thought of it, regardless of whether the movie. I mean, how in the world could that movie be good on the one hand, but like it's such a bonkers idea, it almost doesn't matter.
It's absolutely somebody that just thought of the pun and was like, I gotta
Right.
make a movie about this.
1000%.
Which is a lot of what we end up doing on here, as opposed to we just don't make the movies, we just give the ideas out for free, apparently.
I love it. That's amazing.
All right, yeah, we will have you back. I will post all of that stuff since your band name is incomprehensible.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
So just if you're following us on Twitter and all that kind of stuff, you'll see it whenever this drops. Yeah. I don't know. You got anything, Kit, before we jump out?
Mm-mm.
Nah, I didn't figure. All right.
No, from me.
Thanks, Jeremy. Again, you'll be back.
Yeah, thank you.
Guys, I really appreciate it.
Yep. All right. I hope you suffer, but why?
Why?